My production style is kind of chameleon-ish because I like so many different things. When I'm doing something new, a lot of the time it's a new approach, and I think that's what keeps it fresh and cool. Am I the greatest musician in the world? Absolutely not. A lot of producers aren't. For me, it's more I know what I want to hear. The one common denominator is the feel has to be there. My name is Keith Ross. I am a producer, songwriter, and mixer out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've worked with artists such as Jill Scott, Timbaland, Missy Elliot, Balvin, Fifth Harmony, and we are currently in my studio in Fort Lauderdale trying to avoid a hurricane, and we're talking gear. Ever since I was little, I remember what people say in their voice, and I didn't know I could do an impression of them until it came out. It's how I remember what people say. I remember it in their voice. So I impersonate people without even knowing it sometimes. I think it helps during vocal production more than anything because it helps to kind of give the artist a character that they may not necessarily have tapped into. Could be the way that a note is bent, a way that a rhythm is hit, or it could be, any number of things that may not have been their natural instinct, but then when they hear it that way, then they get it. And also with singing background vocals, sometimes the artist doesn't do the background vocals. Sometimes I'll have to add it and I'll have to take on a character. Mix can also kill a record. You can have an amazing song with a not so great mix and it's never gonna translate the same way. And mixing is a big part of conveying that emotion that the song is trying to get across. If you have a great mix on a mediocre song, a lot of the time that could win out over a great song with a not so great mix. I pick gear when it gives me something that I can't get any other way. The mix dream, that magical little piece of gear. Everyone who knows me knows when I love something, I have a very loud mouth about it. This mix dream does something really amazing, and it's why it's become my primary summing. It sounds like it's not there. That's really important because it's telling me the truth. It's not coloring it in any way. The transients are really fast. That's a big deal. I know what I'm hearing. It translates impeccably well. I notice there's less trips to the car, there's less guesswork, and when I'm switching between speakers, I notice that everything sounds exactly in other places the way that it sounds in here. I've tried a lot of summing mixers from a lot of different companies, and this is the first one that I can say that about, is that this actually sounds out of the studio the way that it does in the studio, in the way that the mixes translate. I find myself using the stereo expander. It does a nice little bump on the sides, kind of brings the instruments forward. I'm just basically using it as my console. I have certain pieces of gear patched in on it. One of the things that I've never seen on another summing mixer, it has individual inputs and outputs for every channel. And so that makes this super, super versatile. But when I'm doing stems, I'm just gonna come straight back in the inputs of my interface. Never been able to do that with any other summing mixer. That's really something you only do with consoles. So having this ability to do that, it's life-changing. And this is always gonna be my main summing at this point. Yeah, I'm not letting go of this thing.